To this monthly energy forecast, energy of the month. I don't even know how I'm gonna call these yet. But today we are finally talking about Aquarius season. Wow, I'm not gonna lie, it took me a little while to record this one because Aquarius is such a, it's like, where do we start? Uh so there is so much to say about every sign, by the way, not just Aquarius, but Aquarius is just this, it is this, I guess we're just gonna get started right away. Aquarius is this quirky kid in the block who's just doing everything differently, and yeah, it is, sometimes it's hard to pin it down, to narrow it down, because it's just always out of the box, so what a great way to start. What a great way to start the episode. So today we are going to talk about Aquarius. By the way, I do have an outline, kind of somewhat don't have an outline, so it's going to be a little bit, just let's just follow along. Okay, so what is Aquarius all about? The theme of the month, okay, first of all, I want to start by saying that I love making these episodes, but I also don't want it to be like, let's say while you checking which episode to watch, I don't want it to be like, oh no, I'm not an Aquarius, I'm not gonna watch this, because the truth of the matter is we are all a bit of all of these energies we carry. So there's 12 zodiac signs, there's 12 major, you have to see them as major energies, and we all carry a bit of each one of these energy centers. We all carry a bit of all of these, zodiac signs. So you can just be like, oh, my son is not Aquarius, I'm not an Aquarius, I don't care about this episode, because the fun of the fun fact is, yeah, you might not be an Aquarius, but you might be an Aquarius rising, or you might have an Aquarius moon. Or guess what? Things get even more complicated than that. Once you do your birth chart, by the way, you could get a birth chart reading with me, and I totally recommend it. I think everyone, it's a crime not to know your birth chart. So what I'm saying is, even if you don't have Aquarius in those three major signs, your rising, your moon, and your sun, which I already talked about in previous episodes, but there is a high chance that there's going to be something in your chart somewhere that is in Aquarius. It's highly possible. So what you have to understand is that not everyone, but it's highly possible, right? Because we have to understand, start seeing yourself as a cocktail. You're not just one thing. You are a combination of many things. So that's why it's important to know what is in your own combination. What is in your cocktail glass? What are you made of? What type of genetic makeup are you? Energetic makeup are you? Because that's what I see. That's how I see the birth chart, right? It's the blueprint of you, and no one else has the same blueprint as you. The same way we each one of us, we have a different fingerprint, and it's exactly the same way with your birth chart. So you might be surprised and find out that Mercury is in Aquarius. Now Mercury is pretty much gonna show how you express yourself. It's the it's the communication, planet. It's literally how are you thinking, how do you communicate. So yes, this is where it would be very useful to know, oh, you have a Mercury in Aquarius, and therefore, you could see how you could still listen to, let's say, this episode, and then find out and understand more about yourself. And at the same time, for example, let's say you have, even if you don't have anything, you've done your birth chart reading and you have zero, you don't have anything in Aquarius. One good news that I have is that every single month, the energy of the month affects every single one of us. So we are in Aquarius season right now. It's almost as if I can literally tell you, oh, this one, guess what? We're all Aquariuses. So this is why it's very important to still listen to every one of those monthly energy check-in, because it's so fascinating. So every month, every zodiac sign affects all of us, because it's like a different energy of the month, right? It's almost like if it's raining a Monday, well, guess what? That rain is going to affect all of us. So it's our time where we all Aquariuses right now. If you're feeling a little bit weird, if you're feeling a little bit like there's that pressure in your life, well, stay tuned. We're going to talk about it today. So what is the energy all about this month? This month, we are all about assessing ways that you are limiting yourself. That could be through fear. That could be maybe you stuck in a rut. Maybe there's a lot of expectations on you placed by your parents, by your family, by your spouse, by your culture. That is also a huge one that I feel like we don't talk enough about. Some people, let's say, I don't know, let's say you are Latina, you are living in like in somewhere, for example, let's say you're living somewhere in South America, and there is a certain pressure that the culture applies on you, and expectation. Another good one I see, let's say you're Arab, or I don't know, you live somewhere in the Middle East, and then you were brought up with that specific culture, whether you, let's say, Lebanese, Egyptian, or from the Gulf countries, or anywhere in that region, or even if you from another, it doesn't even matter. My point is, we need to also acknowledge that there is also a cultural pressure that each one of us is going to feel, because your family is going to have a certain set of expectation from you, the way you were brought up. If you were brought up in a religion, you're going to have religious expectations, so on and so forth. This month is a month for us to face these things, those pressure that you might be feeling. It can literally be because the energies, the month Aquarius is literally pushing you to face those limitations and face them, because the only way you can get through them is, first of all, we need to be courageous enough to actually be facing them once we become aware of them. Because Aquarius is all about doing the impossible, right? This is, if you have an Aquarius friend, you probably find them very quirky. They're that friend who's always thinking outside of the box. And also, if you are an Aquarius yourself, this is one thing I find with a lot of Aquariuses, is that a lot of Aquariuses I know, it's almost like they're living a double life, because your ideas are so wild and so out of the box. But then once you find yourself living in a place that doesn't give you space to be yourself, and often you tend to turn it into, it's almost like you're wearing a mask, like no one really knows who you really are inside, and you're really frustrated, and then you might feel stuck just because, well, you're not really living in alignment with who you're supposed to be. So going back to Aquarius is literally not meant to be traditional. I'll be honest. Aquarius is that month where it's all about doing the impossible. The energy of when someone tell you, oh, you can't do that, and you're like, what? Oh, really? Well, watch me do it. Well, this is exactly what Aquarius is all about. Aquarius is all about, oh, by the way, fun fact I just learned, I believe Thomas Edison was an Aquarius. It's just, I think that is the perfect example of when everyone is telling you you can't do something, and you have an idea in your mind, and you can see it clearly even if others cannot see it. It's like innovation, unconventional thinking, unorthodox thinking, very visionary thinking, right? You have goals, and then you can see them, and you won't let yourself be stopped and be limited by anyone's other limiting beliefs. So this is the energy that we're having here. And also, Aquarius tend to be about the collective. It's like they see like all these visions they have for humanity, So a lot of us, like I said before, every month it's almost like we're playing costumes, we're playing dress up. Every month we get to be a little bit of that sign that is being featured in that month. If it's like, because the next month is going to be Pisces. If it's Pisces, well, guess what? This is why everyone starts complaining, oh my God, there's so much like intensity, what is going on? And then like it's that month where everyone kind of becomes a bit of a Pisces. The month right after it, Aries, where it's that bold, fiery sign, and then you speak up for yourself, you stand up for yourself, like you don't even recognize yourself, because everyone again is going to be under the influence of Aries, so forth and so on. For Taurus, for Gemini, Leo, I forgot Cancer, Leo, and Virgo, and then Libra, and then Scorpio, and then Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and we start over and over again. Hopefully I didn't skip any sign. So every month we get to, which I think is really excited, because which is why I feel like pop culture didn't really help any of us, because we all, I feel like in the past people would be like, checking out just their horoscope, and then checking off their sign, and then so many people would be like, I don't know, I don't relate to that at all, well, this is like a load of BS. But then now I'm very excited, because I feel like people are more open-minded about astrology, and there is more like psychology astrology, and it's so exciting because we're understanding how we're not just one sign, we're a mix of everything. Well, not everything, but we're a mix of a lot of things, and then we're keeping it open-minded and learning. And then I think it's so exciting how we're slowly accepting and understanding that every month we are affected by those energies. So which brings me to the point that I feel like a lot of us have been feeling that extra pressure. Yes, this is very normal, because we are being pressured to do more. We're being pressured to face our fears. We're being pressured to, not let ourselves be limited by what others think is impossible. And often it's us. Often we are the ones that are limiting ourselves. So if you've been feeling that pressure, do not despair. Also, we've been having some transit. I don't know if I want to start getting into transits in those type of episodes. I'm still thinking about that. That's something I might play around with, but for now I'm going to keep it very, very simple. Another fun fact that I want to say is that Saturn, in conventional astrology and also in Kabbalistic astrology, Saturn is actually ruling Aquarius. The reason why I like, well, the thing is, in modern astrology, it's Uranus, but in Kabbalistic astrology, they tell us that those bigger planets like Uranus, Neptune, they are outer planets. So they mostly affect the generations, but they're not necessarily going to affect us on a day-to-day basis. So that's why we tend to only focus on the 7 planets. And in conventional astrology and also in Kabbalistic astrology, that is why Aquarius is run by Saturn. Now, why am I saying this when I just said I was going to keep things simple? Like, what is she talking about? Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because last month we covered Capricorn. If you realize, Capricorn's energy is entirely different from Aquarius energy, right? Capricorn is about, we're doing things this way. No one is thinking about Capricorn energy as the quirky kid in the blog who's doing things outside of the box. That's not how we tend to think about Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, right? When we're thinking about Capricorn and Saturn, we're thinking about structure. We're talking about work. We're talking about like things are done this way, and we're gonna do it this way. We're not thinking about, being innovative or being, so it is surprising when people realize, oh, wait a minute. So that same planet, Saturn, actually rules both Capricorn and Aquarius. And I think it's really fascinating, because in a way, it shows us that Saturn is not there to punish us. I was talking about that in that Saturn episode I recorded a while back. Saturn is literally there to help us. I always refer to it as the Mr. Miyagi, as that loving teacher that seems hard at first, but you can only appreciate it once you really done with the class, and you're looking back and you're like, oh my God, that teacher had my best interest at heart. So Saturn in a way is the same thing, right? So Saturn is not being all about, restriction, work hard, be disciplined. Saturn is not doing that just to be the party pooper, or just to be like, the negative Nancy, or just to be like, to kill the mood. No, Saturn is actually doing that to help us get in the best possible, place to get us to live, our most, how can I say that? Our best version of ourselves as individuals, as a collective. So Saturn is applying all those discipline as we saw in Capricorn season. It is so that we can get to Aquarius. It's because Saturn can see the potential in us, right? So Saturn kind of leads us there so that we can flourish as an individual, so that we can remove these old limitation. In order to do that, we need structure. Once we move past those structure, then guess what? The goal is to make space for a better version of us, a better version of everything. It's kind of like, when you're watching those farmers, depending on where you catch them, where you watch them, sometimes it looks like they're just, when they're working the earth, it's just like everything is plucked away. Everything is just like it looks like a mess. But they're doing that not because they're just like, not because they want to make their life harder, not because they hate nature, but it's because that needs to be done. That way they can start working towards the next crop, and that way we can have, the beautiful flowers that are gonna like start sprouting, during the proper season. So in a way, I thought that was an interesting thing. I don't know, I just geeked out a little bit and wanted to share that with you. The goal is to lead us towards the highest version of ourselves, so that we can start unleashing our full potential. Because again, us humans, we don't like change. If it's for us, we'll just be doing the same thing, and we'll just be like living in our chaotic day to day, and we don't like pushing ourselves. In a way, this is why the universe, this is why the creator has this perfect system where the cosmos is like our GPS. It's like our, training ground. It's pushing us to move forward. The same way 2026, this year, people are going to be moaning a lot, because there is going to be a lot of movement in the sky, in the cosmos. A lot of planets are going to be moving around. And the planets, when astrologers are talking about planets, it's not just people are like, oh my god, what are these people talking about? It's like, I can't understand anything. But all you have to understand is that each planet represents, a certain type of energy. Each planet has a goal, a purpose, and it's all there guiding us towards this higher version of ourselves, and towards the next, the next version, the next how can I say that? It's a process, right? It's always leading us to progress towards the next phase, because if it's left for us, we would just not do anything at all. Let's be honest. So what I want you to take from this episode today is that the if you notice so far, I know I haven't done the whole 12-month cycle yet, the 12 zodiac sign cycle yet, but so far we have Capricorn, Sagittarius, we have Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, and right now Aquarius. Out of all these 4 episodes already, you can see, if you listen to each one of them, you can feel the energy is different in each one of them, right? With Scorpio, I was talking about, listen, this is about transformation. It's gonna be you're not crazy. We are being, in the dark time right now. This is the time, because we need to get through darkness in order to reveal light. In Sagittarius, it was really more about adventure, getting out there, blessings, taking it step by step to reveal those big blessings, because Sagittarius was really, I don't want to get back to that episode again. And then Capricorn, I said it was discipline, hard work. And now, with Aquarius, we're talking about really not letting ourselves be limited and facing those limitations, because Aquarius is all about freedom. It's all about breakthrough. It's all about innovation. It's all about us asking ourselves, where am I not letting myself be authentic? Where am I not letting myself, where am I not unleashing, my greatness, because I'm scared, because I have so much fear, because it's never been done before, and I don't think I can do that. We need to face these things, and this is why the energies of this month is here to help guide us through that. So it's all about us highlighting the illusions of our mind. And also we need to, I do talk about freedom and breaking the rules, having breakthroughs, but also we need to be careful about our ego, because there's a lot of ego that can be linked with Aquarius. So we need to be careful about that, because that can also be something that can sabotage us. So we need to be careful, because Aquarius is also linked to a higher level of ego, which is kind of like, again, it's always the same. Every great thing has like a shadow side, right? Because when you think about it, when you think about the Aquarius archetype, right? In order to do so many greatness, it's not a surprise that it's gonna come with an ego, because at the end of the day, you're looking around and you're like, oh my God, how can everyone see things in such limiting, eyes? How can let people be so such commoners? How are they not seeing all the greatness that I'm trying to see? So if we don't keep a lid on it, there can also be a lot of ego. We're thinking that we're better than everyone else. So we need to make sure that we focus on the positive, we focus on those goals, we focus on those dreams, and just accept that every archetype, every zodiac sign has a goal and a mission. So again, like I said, like I keep saying all the time, we work great. We're all important, we're all valuable, and the goal is for us to all come here and shine our light and come together, and then that completes the beautiful pie. Out of 12 zodiac sign completes the beautiful pie together, and that is the goal, that is the beauty of it all. So I wanted to end this with tips. What can we focus on in this month of Aquarius? Yes, I know I said a lot of like things about freedom, breaking through, innovation, thinking outside the box, but also there's work involved. Let's be real. I don't think Thomas Edison, was able to come up with these, like the light bulbs, by just sitting around and not doing anything. I forgot what it was. I think it was like 1,000 ways, how many bulbs he how many wrong formulas that he created before he finally got to the correct one. So yes, it's also a time for us to work. It's a time for us to work, and because non-practical ideas also require work to in order to manifest these things onto the planet of onto the our earth realm. So also, one thing I really wanted to say, partnership. It's not just working solo, all about us. A lot of us also, we need to make sure that we are inviting partnership, and we're not totally isolating ourselves. Another thing that we can do, another thing that is really important to do this month is community, because again, time is gonna speed up. It's gonna keep speeding up. I should probably record an entire episode on that. That is something a lot of people started talking about not this December, but last December 2024, that they felt like time was going faster and quicker. By the way, there is a real reason for that. It's because Pluto has moved into Aquarius. Before that, Pluto was in Pisces, and things are a little bit slower, more, Pisces give you more space to introspect, more space to like feel things and stuff like that. And it's moving counterclockwise. So now after Pisces, it's into Aquarius. And again, Aquarius is all about, let's get this party started. Enough of the Pisces-ness. Let's pick up some speed. So this is why, and Pluto is a planet of transformation. So this is why we are feeling that time is moving faster. So I should probably make a whole episode on that, because this is something I find absolutely fascinating. But why I'm putting so much emphasis on the need for community. Find your community, because as things are going faster, by the way, which is why it's so important to this is why astrology is so great, because again, if you didn't know that Pluto was, in Aquarius right now, you think, oh my God, you're going crazy. Or when people tell you they don't believe in astrology, it doesn't matter whether you believe in it or not. You're still affected by the energies. It's the same thing. I know. I say that example so much. The whole, if someone would say, they don't believe in gravity. Doesn't matter. Like, gravity doesn't care whether you believe in it or not. It's there. So in the same way, Pluto doesn't care whether you believe in astrology or not. Pluto is still has moved in Aquarius, and like I said, Pluto is about transformation. Aquarius is all about, all right, let's get things started. Let's do things. Enough of the sameness already. So obviously, this is gonna this is translating in that speed that you feeling, and also realizing that chaos and feeling like it's total anarchy, and anyways, all of that bringing us back to community. Find your community. It can be online, it can be in real life. I know I talk about loneliness a lot on the podcast. Yes, that's something that we are dealing with as a collective. However, do not give up. Okay, I feel like even if you don't have physical community, even if you here's the thing, I think it's easier to find community. It might take you a little while, but I think community is more doable than intimate one-on-one relationship. That's what I'm realizing. That's what I'm noticing around me. So for example, it might be harder for someone to find deep friendship, that care, that show up for one another, etc. Or it might be harder for people to find a partner, a relationship, husband, wife, whatever. But when it comes to community, I find that it's at least, thankfully, I feel like it's a little bit easier for us to find a community. So do lean on that right now, because you will need someone when those times are going a little bit crazier, so that you don't so that you stay grounded and you can have a support system. That could be through sports. I know my gym used to have, well, still does have, things like jujitsu, or there's also like a pole dancing, pole fitness community, also roller skating community, all sorts of community out there. When we say find your community, you don't have to overcomplicate it. Community is just, can just be, find your hobby and interact with these people, and then eventually, as you keep showing up, people will see you as part of the tribe. But again, I'm also talking about deeper community that can be spiritual community. For me, my community online is my Kabbalah community at the Kabbalah Center. Again, I'm not affiliated with them, as in I'm not paid to say that. There's no it's just, that's what I do for real, and I share it with people because I think it's life changing. We do have Zoom classes, all sorts of Zoom classes. We do have study, daily studies. We do have a lot of things, and to me, that's my community. So definitely do find out your community. Some people it's through church, some people it's through, I don't know, they have like an improv community. I'm talking like that because I want to give you idea if you're struggling with that, right? Running club. Some people don't even need to talk about deep things. Some people just like to do things with people. So know what is good for you and find your community and lean on that, because that is gonna keep you sane. Because no one man is an island. We are social creatures and we need one another. On that note, I wanted to pull a card. That's probably that noise you were hearing in the background. Let's pull a card for Aquarius, because I love my tarot cards. And also, like I said before, you can do a birth chart reading with me. And then there's, by the way, it's not just birth chart, it's also transit reading. So to know what are the energies that are going to be crossing your own your own chart for this year. That way you know which way to to prepare yourself, and so forth and so on. And also we could do a tarot reading if you wanted more help and support on something that you're going on in life right now. Ooh, interesting. So I pulled a card from my deck. This deck I have here is only the 22 major arcanas, which is like the 22 major life themes. And the card that came out today was the Emperor, which I find absolutely interesting. The Emperor, I really do think it's literally hand in hand with the theme of today. So the Emperor is also like that masculine energy, which is which is interesting because it's pretty much the doing card. Let's do that. Okay, let's do that. We're talking about, like, there's also an Empress card, and the Emperor is literally the one that is supporting the Empress, that is supporting the collective, that is literally making sure that things are done, and it's that very important energy, and also that could be in our private life. It's also that energy of taking care of things. I feel like in media we've been having a lot of feminine energy that no, and a lot of gender war, but we're missing the point. Like, we are here to work together. Like, there's no like one gender that can survive without the other gender. There's no one side that is better than the other side. Yes, I might believe that one side is probably has been slacking lately. I want name. I want name any side. Again, we're not gonna get into a gender war on this platform. And we're here to heal wound, not create, not deepen any existing wound already. However, we have to understand, what I think, I believe that we forget, is that we all have feminine energy in us, and we all have masculine energy in us. Every single one of us, we are a yin yang. So this card, I think, is coming out because it's the time for us to sit down and ask ourselves, how have we been nourishing our own masculine energy? Which can mean, are we say we want to have a healthy business, but are we actually showing up and doing the work to have a healthy business? We say we want someone, those of us that are looking to date, that are looking for our soulmate, our relationship, our husband, our wives. We say we want someone that's going to take care of us and respect us, and we want that dream relationship. But are you actually doing that for yourself? Are you respecting yourself? Are you talking to yourself in a way that is loving and kind? Are you making sure that you're not letting that inner voice, just make you feel terrible about yourself? Are you giving yourself the love that you are looking for? This is literally the Emperor. This is all the Emperor. This is all the energy of that, masculine energy, which is pretty much there to hold, we can't live without it. We need the balance of both. And it's also the action. And I think this is perfect coming up with Aquarius, because the Aquarius energy is literally pushing us to do. It's pushing us to face our fear and not let ourselves be, held back by limitation anymore. On that note, I think, that was a lot for today. And on that note, that was a lot. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Keep shining bright like a diamond.